What's up, guys? Dave from Bets. I'm going to go over a few of my Week 6 NFL DFS plays. Nothing really to report for Week 5. No major sweats, a couple min cashes, but yeah, nothing huge. So onward we move to Week 6, and I really like the Seahawks. If you watched my betting video and my picks for sports bets this week, you'll know why. But I really like the Seahawks, and Atlanta's terrible defense, and they're coming cross country from dome to outdoor. I think it's all good for Seattle in this game, and Russell Wilson stacked with Graham or Baldwin is going to be a great play. I look for Seattle to put up a lot of points. It's always good to play someone who's that great offense and that worse defense. And that's exactly what the Seattle Seahawks have this week. So I really like Russell Wilson. I have a feeling because Seattle's not the sexiest team that they will be slightly underowned, but they'll probably be a pretty popular play due to their matchup. I also like Big Ben at 7,500. I think that he should be the most expensive quarterback in the league by now, but he still isn't. And although he will likely be high owned, playing at Miami is way too attractive to pass up this week. So I would definitely stack him with Brown or Coates and maybe throw in Devontae Parker or Landry in there for a reverse stack and hope for a high-scoring shootout there in Miami. Tyrod Taylor, 5,300. He's super cheap right now. No one is looking at him, and he's at home versus the lowly 49ers. I think that he's a good gamble. He's had a few enormous games in the past, and if you gamble on him this week and he comes through, because of that great matchup, it will definitely differentiate your lineup from the rest of them. So I like him at quarterback. Running back, LaShawn McCoy. He's having an amazing season. He gets the touches. He's a great receiving threat, has a great matchup. He's slightly underpriced right now, I think. Either that or DeMarco Murray is slightly overpriced. I think they should both be around 7K or 7,200. But one thing is for sure, if he does have another big game this week, we're probably not going to see him under 7K anytime soon. So I do think he's a good price right now, too. Speaking of DeMarco Murray at 7,700, I've been riding him all year. He's been great for me. I'm starting to get a little wary as his prices got up this high, but he does have an amazing matchup this week versus the Browns, and he's getting 25-plus carries and 5 receptions the last 2 games. Remains that goal line threat. I'll definitely bite on that. So CJ Spiller is a major gamble here. It's only his second week back, and he had very limited production in that game. But I think it's very possible that he steps up big, especially if they get ahead a lot. I think that he's going to eventually cut into Christine Michael's production pretty significantly. I wouldn't load him up in all of my lineups, but I'd keep my eye on him right now, and I'll definitely fit him into a few until then. The Bears love Howard right now. He's had 3 great fantasy games in a row, getting better with each. He's got a great matchup at home versus the Jags. So I'm pretty chalked up on running back. I don't take too many gambles except Spiller. Receiver, I'm going pretty cheap, aside from Doug Baldwin, who is 6,500, and I said I like the Seahawks and why. So I do like him a lot this week. I also like Hearns. He's down from 5,800 to 4,700. He's got a decent floor because he gets a lot of targets, and he's got a pretty high ceiling with Bortles throwing the ball, so more than a fair price there. Jeremy Curley at 4,000. I feel like the Niners may have found their go-to receiver in Curley, and he's still really cheap as his production has been rising every game, including the last 2, which he had 9 and 13 targets for 21 and 28 fantasy points. So he's a steal at this price right now, and who knows what it could mean if Kaepernick comes back too. Brandon LaFell at 3,200. Similar story here. The last 4 games, he had 8, 3, 6, and 11 targets. In the last game, he had 26 fantasy points. So going back to New England, I'll gamble on him at 3,200. I also like Devontae Parker. I think that if they get down, then Miami will have to throw the ball a lot, and he's a little cheaper and higher ceiling right now of the Miami wideouts. At tight end, I love Jimmy Graham. Did I mention I like the Seattle Seahawks right now? And I also like Charles Clay as a gamble. They have been starting to use him a little more lately. At defense, I like the Titans at home against Cleveland. They seem to be racking up against the sacks, and it's a great matchup. And I also like the Texans at 2,900. Luck's been sacked just over 5 times a game, and his gambling nature could always lead to some defensive points, and the Texans D should be very low owned. So those are my picks. Please join me next week for next week's picks. And if you like these videos, please click subscribe, comment, or like below. And good luck this week, guys.